Critical infrastructure is the backbone of our nation's economy, security, and health. We know it as the power we use in our homes, the water we drink, the transportation that moves on, and the communication systems we rely on to stay in touch with friends and family. Critical infrastructure are the assets, systems, and networks, whether physical or virtual, so vital to the India that their incapacitation or destruction would have a debilitating effect on security, national economic security, national public health or safety, or any combination thereof. The system and networks that make up the infrastructure of society are often taken for granted. Yet, a disruption to just one of those systems can have ominous consequences across other sectors. In today's world, mankind relies critically on roads, rails, airways, electricity, communication, water supply system, banking system, etc., without which survival would be considered almost impossible. These are therefore termed as critical infrastructure. Any disruption in its working would lead to chaotic effects in country's economic, political and social well-being. Thus, the security of critical infrastructure of the country is necessary for national security. Almost all these critical infrastructures are in some way or the other a part of the cyberspace and hence are vulnerable to cyber attacks and hackings, in addition to any kind of physical threats. Therefore, critical infrastructure protection has become a necessity from the physical as well as cyber threats. Supervisory control and data acquisition systems are meant for monitoring and remotely controlling geographically widely distributed processes such as water treatment and distribution, oil and gas pipelines, electrical power transmissions, floodgates of dams, railways and airways, etc. Being futuristic, cyber wars are a very likely phenomenon and all the countries are gearing up for this cyber warfare. Critical infrastructure is likely to be prime target during cyber warfare, and thus their protection is very essential for the survival of a country or state during war. At Amity Center for Information and Cybersecurity, we aim at protecting such critical infrastructure on cyber front. We intend to identify vulnerabilities in these existing critical infrastructure and submit a report with recommendations to secure their infrastructure to their governing bodies. We also intend to create a system for regular or periodic security assessment. A training will also be provided so that organizations can understand the importance of cyber and information security for their critical infrastructure. Some steps include use of powerful systems as firewall to filter out as much of threat as possible, allowing only the necessary and safe traffic to pass through. Thorough examination of every system on the network is done to identify non-necessary ports and close them. Honeypot server will be deployed inside the organization to distract attackers and further trace the attacker. We also aim to contact governing central bodies of critical sectors for security or vulnerability assessment and suggest them to create central guidelines to be incorporated by all organizations or companies governed by them.